All right, guys. I was all the Robtail Jiu-Jitsu Academy instructors or Jiu-Jitsu instructors having a chat again. So hope you all enjoy it. Okay, guys. So Gareth Penny's held us up. Don't say anything. Actually, the feedback I had from the last video was the funniest part was the part where Penny took over the screen. showed us all his obsession with Tom. But anyway, so
while we're on that subject,
so they've all seen it, mate.
So we finished off last time, guys. We were talking about using jiu-jitsu for real, and I think Tickles, Ken, and Dean said you haven't, is it? And me, Tom, and Penny said we had. So
I done it a bit on a dance floor, but not on the street.
So Penny, your story was intriguing. Are you allowed to tell us about it?
Not really.
Is it? Incriminating one. Well, mine was a while back, so I'll say mine is it, and then I know Tom's had a recent one, so you can tell us that then. So I think a lot of people have heard this already, but people that are watching wouldn't necessarily have. Hang on a minute, I've got weird feedback now. Penny, you just changed something?
No, I got weird feedback as well. I can hear it as well.
Pressing buttons. Tickles is looking very...
I just turned my volume down. I don't know if
it's gone now. Right, it's gone anyway.
So. It's stopped now.
I was traveling home from training, and a guy cut me up in the car. Usual stuff, then flicked me off, etc., etc. Pulled in front of me, got out of his car. I just assumed he was going to be angry and go home. And then he decided to get into my car. So I hopped across, like sort of butt scooted across the passenger seat, turned and faced him. He reached in, told me he was going to kill me, tried to strangle me, and then I triangled him in my car, which was kind of weird. And the funny thing about it was, as soon as I got the triangle on him, he was going, I'm sorry. It just shows how confident people are, doesn't it? Like how brash and confident and aggressive people can be. And as soon as they're on the back foot, they want to be sorry. Then, you know, realistically, I probably should have just like choked him out, left him in a ditch somewhere, but I wasn't. I was nice.
And it was just before the use of like smartphones, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2007. I was a purple belt, and it was like before. Like I think YouTube was around, but it wasn't a very big thing. It wasn't like now when everything happens, everyone immediately thinks to get their camera out. I probably had like a 1 megapixel camera on my phone or something. If that.
You took a photo of him when you had that triangle on. It would have been fucking.
Yeah, I do wish I had taken a photo. It would have been good.
Selfie.
My phone would have been in my pocket for sure. So. What happened with you, Tom? You had one recently, didn't you?
So recently, it was like the first week of lockdown. Shouldn't be saying this, guys, incriminating. But I was just walking back from a shop. I seen a bloke hit his missus. So automatically, my instinct was like, get involved, calm it down. He swung for me. I got my guard up, took a punch to the forehead, and I just clinched him at double unders and just reaped his leg. Took him down. I mounted him, took his back, and just rear naked choked. It was like, get off him, get off him, get off him. I was like, there's no chance I'm getting off him. I'm not getting off him until he's asleep. So I just choked him out to sleep and left him here to deal with it, really.
So she did try to, she was sticking up for him, was she?
Yeah, of course. They always do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just sent Rob, I had like his blood on me and everything. So, Penny,
you must have missed the part where you made him bleed.
I didn't touch, mate. He swung on me first. I used necessary force. I defended him.
It was Tom's blood.
It's kind of detailed that conveniently left out.
I had loads of stuff on my knees.
Clinched him, took him down, choked him. Blood all over me.
I came off worse than him. My knees were scuffed right up.
So guys, on that subject, why do you think that is? Why is it people that don't fight are super confident and aggressive and want to get into fights?
I think it's like displaying like the alpha male, trying to like be intimidating.
It normally does it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's nature, isn't it? Look at two animals fighting in nature, man. They posture, don't they? They shout, they get loud, aggressive, and
yeah. And I think I think some people get used to some people get used to the fact that a lot of people don't want, they're scared of violence, so they tend to back down. So a lot of people get used to the fact that if they act a bit bullyish, a bit brash and aggressive, a lot of people will back down.
Oh, this guy is known for a bully as well. Just super aggro. I was saying to Rob as it happened, like, their family is always causing problems in the neighborhood. If police are called, it's always to them.
Is it a big family? Big
You're
family?
type.
No, just man and woman.
Yeah.
The average person has a lot more faith in their capabilities to violence than they actually can.
Yeah, for sure, especially
Like
men.
exactly. How many people have had an actual fight? Like, what percentage of the adult males between 18 and 35 these days has been in a physical fight? It's going to be single digits, isn't it? There's not that many. So
I watch a lot of YouTube fights. I like watching real fight, and it's amazing how they're so angry and aggressive at each other. Yeah, they're so angry, so aggressive, and then when they start fighting, it's like 2 7-year-olds fighting in the playground, just
trying to slap each other.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Faraz Sahabi talk about that? So this very subject. There's some really good ones. He's got one where he's talking about a guy slapping the back of his plane seat. He's got one about a guy cutting him up in traffic, similar to yours, Rob. And then saying like once they're confronted, you just see like the color drain out of people when they see his confidence and like look in his eyes and know that he's
that million yards like stare as well, isn't it? If you don't look phased, they think it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've had an incident like that where a guy sort of squared up to me, and then once we had a little bit of a chat, he backed down quite quickly. I think if people do realize that you're not worried to fight, then it does make them change their attitude a little bit.
Have you noticed as well, people who can fight actually will talk themselves out of fight first, or try to?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And the reason for that is because you know what can happen. So I know I'm getting punched in the face. I know I can be knocked out.
Yeah,
I know that I can get
hurts.
choked out and how vulnerable I am. Like, anyone can get smacked. Especially if
I've lost a good friend, man, from getting one punch. Got suckered punch, fell over and hit his head.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I think, and people that attack other people, they don't realize, that's a danger. I think it was a family friend of my wife, I think, was a law student and got drunk and hit someone and killed them. So it's
like, how many lives does that rule in the process? You got the person who's serving for manslaughter. You got the family who's lost a family member.
Yeah.
I want to see if Ken has ever had road rage or gone crazy.
Ken's a
I'm always fucking raging behind the wheel. I'm always raging. I'm not violent though.
Are you a Rasian?
A Rasian.
well, Tom knows my story from I don't think I've told anyone else. I had a story quite recently, guys, where it was kind of a road rage thing, and I think I was definitely in the wrong partly. I have to tell you all now, and
I've been in a car with you a couple of times, Rob, and you're like, pull over.
No, I'm quite calm. But
you just told me a wanker, pull over.
I was driving home with the kids, and I was just doing 70 in the outside lane of the motorway, and then when I pulled in, some random guy pulls in front of me and slams his brakes on. I didn't have any idea what was going on, so then I just overtook him. While I'm overtaking him, he's ranting on, kicking off. I can see him giving me the bit for the bird and stuff. So I pull in front of him again, like decent distance. He overtakes me again, slams his brakes on again. We're doing like 40, less than 40 on the motorway. So in the end, I followed him. He got out of his van. I got out of my car. He got in my face and just took him down, spun him round, choked on him immediately. And then he changed his tune then from being, kind of aggressive. Why were you doing this? To saying I was driving dangerously and stuff. Like, so weird. So weird to be like, drive so aggressively, be so aggressive. And then as soon as you're on the back foot, immediately start making out that the other person's at fault. And
you go in survival mode then, especially with your boys in the car.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm on my own, I don't really that bothered. Today on the way home, there was a guy right up my arse, and I was just like, whatever, innit? But when you got the kids in the car, it's different. I think
it's like goes back to the Anthony Smith thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
defending his house.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You guys all watched that now. It's nuts.
I haven't watched
Did
it
you
yet.
see the video?
I've got the link to
Of
watch.
that guy
Yeah.
just screaming.
Yeah, he looks mad to me.
Yeah.
I would have not answered the door to that boy.
The knife.
You walked into a front. You walked
Jack,
into
the
an empty
door
door.
for you.
Jack, my mate's at the door.
Right, so guys, I've got some weird subjects to talk about as well. So there's one good question we've had was, I don't know if it applies to anyone other than, I know Tom's had a situation. Has anyone trained at a muck dojo? I think if anyone's watching that doesn't know what a muck dojo is, because obviously some people might have just started jiu-jitsu, just started martial arts in total. It's, so basically a muck dojo is a martial art where you're not learning to fight properly, basically. They're just teaching you nonsense. That's a brief description. So anyone got any experiences of that, guys?
I did Aikido as a kid, and that was a bit crap.
Yeah, I mean, that's the closest I got. Is I did a couple of lessons of karate, and it was like you know, bad karate. Obviously, karate varies a lot. It was bad karate, but I only did class and a half, maybe.
So my story is it was like in a process of finding Rob's place actually. So I was off work because of my eyes and that, and yeah, I found this class. I typed in Cumberland Jiu-Jitsu, and it came up total body defense. So went on their website, they like advertised Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu incorporated in like this syllabus. So I thought, bit like suspect of this. So I like messaged the guy, can I come and watch? Just so I can get like a little feel of the class, see what's going on. Yeah, no problem, no problem. So I went and watched, man. It was just complete nonsense, like self-defense. Like, what would you do if someone's running at you with a rubber knife stuff? And yeah, you just defend. So I was like, halfway through the class, I was like, oh, don't mean to be disrespectful, but I gotta go now. He's like, oh man, don't you want to join in? I was like, nah, not really, no.
I'm going to go and learn how to do the 200-meter sprints.
Yeah.
If the guy comes after me with a knife.
But we all know the answer to the knife thing is just to disrupt their chi, isn't it? It's easy.
Yeah, it was just nonsense. Doing all these like weird wrist locks on each other.
Anybody else? I think it's a bit rarer, isn't it? I think in the UK than it is like America and stuff.
Yeah. I think in the UK it's just like more bold, like Aikido and like total body defense.
Yeah, I think we've got plenty of sort of really bad martial arts, haven't we? But I think the really out there stuff, it doesn't seem to be around as much.
I think what I found was that you had like all the karate and the kickboxing stuff, and then they realized that jiu-jitsu was becoming quite big and the MMA, so they all became jiu-jitsu and MMA people then.
It's teach no-gi.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was, you know, didn't really go down that well when they were doing it, you know.
Thing about like bullshitting in jiu-jitsu and all, everyone knows everyone. There's such like a cliquey community, in it, the BJJ community, especially with like the BJJ for UK BJJ underground and that, and everyone talks on there. And it's so like, how long can you bullshit people for?
Yeah, because I was going to say that's where I've seen most of it is people come into jiu-jitsu and they say, oh yeah, you know, I've got a black belt in this, I've done this, something like that. And then...
What about purple belt girls, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. And there's lots of them turn up, but you can't. How you can use? So you turn up in jiu-jitsu. Oh yeah, I've done this for like 10 years, and then you realize you really, really can't fight at all. So going on that basis, guys, what's the weirdest, without naming names, if anyone still trains or whatever, what's the weirdest thing you've had happen to you in a jiu-jitsu class?
Oh, I got loads of stories from like when I'm teaching. For some reason, since we moved to the new place, Rob, I seem to have this odd luck of random people coming to my classes and then just like.
That's when me and Rob tell him to come. That's why.
Yeah, they ring me up. What's the best class to start at? I'm like Friday, half six.
Tuesday and Friday.
Oh yeah, there was just one time where Friday competition class at 6:30. It was a pretty quiet one for the time. I think it was just before Christmas, and there were 3 regulars. Yeah, so me, Will Roberts, I think Richard Beasley was there as well, and essentially there was this random dude that wandered in, and I don't know. He looked strange to begin with. He like really skinny. He looked like basically a cokehead or something. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try some jiu-jitsu." I was like, okay." And he was like, "Oh, can I join in this class?" I was like, "Well, if this is your first class, and we're about to do a competition class, I really don't recommend it because we are going to like absolutely destroy each other." He's like, "No, I'll be fine. I'll be all right." I'm like, "Nah, I can't let you just start on this one. I'm not going to teach you anything. We're all just going to roll." I was like, "You're welcome to watch if you want to see what it's like, and if you want to come back for another class, you could do that." He's like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine." Fucking going into the change room, starts to get changed. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just getting changed." I'm like, "But you're not joining in, right?" He's like, "Oh, it's just for hygiene reasons. I just want to get changed." I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake."
And
I
he
was like,
just,
"All right, I'm fine.
just wants to
You
blend
do
in.
that." And basically, we started off then with doing takedown drills and sparring takedowns and some takedown rounds. And then while we're doing all of this, so the time is going, we're all having our rounds and things. And I can just see him every so often leaving like the side of the mat, walking off into the change room, coming back for like no apparent reason. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, just messaging my friend because he's coming as well." I was like, "What?" Then probably about 10 minutes later, then I see him walk out of the academy, didn't even put his shoes on, so I can walk out the door barefooted. I'm saying he
That's it.
disappeared for about 15 minutes.
Set
And
him
then I
on
was like,
fire. Sacrifice him to the gods.
everyone who was there was like, "Guys, you might want to check your bags and things to see if
Oh,
you
yeah.
made up."
Yeah.
We did all that. We moved all the stuff down Matt's side then. And then he came back. I was like, "Mate, you can't come back in and step on the carpeted area now because you've got one foot in front." He left his shoes in the changing room.
That's a pretty weird thing, and it happens every now and then. When people do that, you see them going off the mat outside. I've seen it a few times barefoot, and then they're surprised when you tell them that they can't come back on without cleaning their feet. They look shocked.
I was right because you change because of hygiene reasons.
What about that guy who was sick in the changing rooms and didn't tell anyone, Rob?
Oh,
Yeah, like who would do that? And like, what grown adult would be sick in a changing room and then just go home?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Oh.
man.
Pain.
Anybody else? Anybody else come across any weird situations in training?
The guy doing patterns to warm up, Rob. Do you remember him in the old gym?
Wing Chun and
The young
strange weight
blonde.
pulls.
Yeah. Tried to upkick Lou in the face.
Oh, D-class, man.
Yeah.
Tickles, you say you got something?
Yeah, I was rolling with a white belt a couple of months ago, and he bit me.
Yeah.
Oh, I got bit by a Russian lad.
And massive bite marks on my hand here from where I was trying to rear naked choke him.
Mate, I got bit. So
Yeah,
it was actually like Ken taught me this choke, like a collar choke, from when you sprawl on people after their takedown. So I was sparring with this Russian lad. He tried to like double leg me. I sprawled on him, started setting up this choke, like a loop choke thing for when you're on sprawl. And he bit my thumb. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, mate? What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "I didn't do nothing." I had this tough mark. They still got a scar now on my thumb.
I remember. He was like, "I didn't bite you." You're like, "I've got teeth marks in my hand."
So like everyone
I was there. I was there when that.
Everyone just choked him to sleep.
You're like, "Nah, you had those in your hand before."
Yeah. Well, tough marks.
Those teeth marks were there when you came.
Yeah. Furious, man.
Anybody else? Dean? Penny? Something
I think
weird must have happened to you.
I think my funniest thing that's happened at a class was that dude that turned up for the Kenny Florian seminar. He had mental health issues, but I don't know if anyone else wants to tell a story better than me. But
I think we'll leave that one.
Yeah. Just at the end when he took his top off and started doing front flips. You know,
he's quite a regular in people's stories.
Yeah, but I thought that was quite funny, like, in a good way, like. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I think I remember I armbarred someone once, and they absolutely screamed at the top of their lungs. And I panicked, and I looked at Craig Boyce, who was sat on the side, with just a look of dread. Let it go, hands up in the air, like, "You okay? You okay?" And they looked at me, and they were just like, Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. that was a bit of a weird situation.
Didn't tap, made you let go.
Just screamed like a
That
yap as
Brazilian
loud as I
tap.
possibly
That
could.
Brazilian tap.
Ah,
Trying to check more subjects down.
So, one thing you mentioned, you choked that guy unconscious then, Tom. In
Yeah.
9.5 years of training, I've never been unconscious. I've been
Fine
close to
living in
it.
Cumbrand, mate.
Ha!
It happens regular. Every time you go to a shop.
I'll give a shout out
It's
to
a
Lewis
jungle
Barrow.
out there. It's a
Shout out to
jungle
Lewis
out
Barrow. Put me to sleep about 2 months ago.
Right.
First time it's happened to me. Ow.
there.
What about the rest
little
of you?
dash choke that he does. What?
Yeah, I've been put to sleep.
Been
Ken's
put to
put me
sleep.
to sleep once or twice.
Nice. Ken, have you been put out?
From Bowen out, waking me up. Tom, you alright? You alright?
I've been very close to being put out because I was sparring with Joe, as in female Joe, and obviously letting her work the positions and things like that. And I kind of let her get a choking position. The choke was all that tight, and then about 10
Don't
seconds
give
later,
Joe anything, mate.
everything was fucking echoing, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck's going on?" I may got tap before she puts me out. It was the most bizarre experience I've ever had. Anyway.
I found it mad being choked out because I forgot immediately after it everything that had happened, and I remember turning. I think you three were. I think Tom, Ken, and Tickles. I think you were there on my left, sat around just talking. I was lying on my back, loads of ringing in my ear. Lewis Barrows looking over and looking over the top of me. I said, "What happened, bro?" He's like, you went asleep. I was like, "Oh, what you get me with?" Like that. So I was like, okay. I think he was more scared than I was, actually. I think he thought he killed me.
The memory loss is a weird thing, isn't it? I've refereed a fight and the guy got choked out within about 8 seconds of the fight starting. And then when he came round, he stood up and he was like getting ready to fight. He said, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good to go." I said, "Mate, the whole fight is finished. You started."
It was
fighting.
mad, actually, because when you see it like happen in like the UFC and stuff, and you don't know what they're doing, they start trying to fight him and they're saying to the ref.
Yeah,
and when he
take the
did it to me,
referee down.
I had no idea what. And then afterwards, like it was like coming back together piece to piece, and I could remember being in there. I remember trying to defend, thinking I was okay, and
Just
it just
turns on so quick, doesn't it?
Tap on that.
I thought I was fine. I thought he can't dash me from the bottom.
But you can like
Well done,
understand
Lou. You can
how it happens
dash
in
people from the
UFC.
bottom.
You can understand why it happens in UFC when they get knocked out and just like attack a ref with a double leg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
What about you,
They come
Benny?
back. They come back and they're like, "I was fine. It was an early stoppage." I reckon 2 weeks later they're like, "Nah." Nah.
Penny, you ever been put out?
Not in jiu-jitsu, no.
Out in the garden, is that? Where you went?
No, when I used to be when I was about,
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
I think I was about 20 and I was steaming in Bridgend Town and I pinched a cigarette out of someone's hand and they asked for it back and I was like, no. And then they said, "Give it back to me." So I crumpled it up. And then about 5 minutes later, then I was queuing outside this club. And then I woke up in hospital then with 10 stitches in my eye. And that was it. And that was it.
Worth it,
Sounds like you deserved it.
Shows the benefits of going out and getting hammered.
Yeah. I spoke to my friend and he was like, "Yeah, you're on the floor." And like my shoe was like just a big pool of blood just all over it. And I can't remember anything. Like, so.
That's a nice story.
Jiu-jitsu wise, I don't think so. No. I think.
What about you, Rob?
Have I been choked out?
Yeah, it's got to happen a number of times.
Not in training, only once. My sister's birthday party, because I asked my mate to do it. My mum was there.
Do it now.
My mum was there basically crying, telling me not
It's a
to.
good party trick, isn't it?
I've choked people out though. I've choked my brother-in-law out twice, showing techniques on him.
Miles,
the unchokeable.
Yeah, because he's so hard to choke. So I've used him in positions where I'm saying, like, if they're still not tapping, you do this. If they're still not tapping, you do this. And as I'm holding it on, he's just gone out cold.
I got a story actually. 2 years ago, Christmas, I was around one of the boys' houses, and he's got a dartboard. So there was 3 of us there, and he said, "Oh, I know, we were steaming." He said, "Oh, right, we'll play darts, 3 darts each. Whoever gets the lowest score gets choked out." I was like, "Yeah, okay.
Sounds really
Whoever scores the highest chokes it, the lowest person out." So the guy whose house it was, whose dartboard it was, went first. He scored 11. Oh, we were landed. So yeah, we just aimed for like the easy numbers, you know. And my mate choked him out, and he's got it on video. I'll have to show you when I'll have to get him to send it to me. Like, but yeah, that was funny, and he didn't have a clue. Spoke to him afterwards, and he was just like, "Oh no, I thought it was right." And he came round, and he was just like, "What?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, you were out." Like, the guy who did it thought he killed him. So
drunk people normally take a while to come around as well, don't they? I've seen a drunk person being choked out before, and it took them a long time to come around.
Yeah.
On the point you said just now, Rob, I choked my brother out on accident before, actually, in my mum's house by trying to practice a standing arm triangle on him.
Used to know it worked.
Yeah, my dad was watching, and then I couldn't do it actually, and then my dad was watching, and he said, "Dad, if someone did that, though, you'd just do like X, Y, and Z." And I was like, "No, you couldn't do that." And he was like, "Right, stand up and do it again, and I'll show you." And I was just holding it. And I couldn't do a standing arm triangle, and I just held him in the position while my dad was showing me. And then when I let it go, he just went out.
That's the funny one, isn't it? Is you know, when people that don't train ask about you to show them stuff, or they're like, "Oh, I do this," and you think it doesn't really work like that.
Just stand up. Yeah, I'll just get out.
Yeah, you're like.
If you see someone with a triangle choke, it's like I'll pick them up. I probably would think I could if I hadn't been there a million times.
So I can't watch like MMA with like my friends who don't train anymore. It's just like, oh, I wouldn't tap to that. It's like, it was Khabib and Conor I was watching.
Fine,
it
isn't
with.
it? Yeah,
and
that
it
was brilliant.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, I wouldn't tap to that. I was like, mate. So I was like, let's do it then. So I choked him. He was tapping. I was like, mate, that was like a 0-strike blue belt doing that to you. Just imagine Khabib Nurmagomedov doing that across your jaw.
Yeah, I saw people online, they were saying, "Oh, I thought Conor was meant to be a brown belt. Why did he tap to that?" I guess bloody Khabib doing it to him. Would you like? Just people that have got
Khabib's
no idea.
A white belt, though.
Like, what must it feel like him squeezing your jaw? And I think a lot of people as well. I think a lot of stuff you see online is no offense, Dean, or any white belts or blue belts out there, or Tom. But you see people, you know, that are like white belt or blue belt. They think they know a lot, and then like, it was over his jaw. You know, he didn't need a tap, and they don't realize that you can still choke someone out even if your arm is here.
Yeah.
People are stupid. We got 2.5 minutes left, guys. So, any last things anyone wants to discuss? Still got lots of topics left. We can keep doing this.
No, really. Stay inside.
Stay indoors. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stories about.
Let's get back to training as soon as possible. Stay indoors. Get back to training as soon as possible.
Stories of people doing 100-mile trips to go to the Lake District and fishing and stuff.
Oh, what was the Scottish Health Minister going back to holiday home?
What an idiot!
Don't do that.
But it's okay now, guys, because what have we done? 30,952,498,000 tests or whatever. Everyone see Priti Patel saying that. Oh, did everyone see Donald Trump?
Oh, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Is that the thing where he said like
overruling
110,000 million or something?
Yeah.
Where he's like,
1 million.
We always knew we were going to have to do this. I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to close America. I said to do it. Even when he was like, nah, things will definitely be fine. We don't need to close America.
Oh, there's a wicked thing of him online talking about how many tests they do, and the number he says is just like the most made-up number ever. He's just the gift that keeps on. Yeah.
But was it a real number? Because Priti Patel said not even a real number.
No, it's not a real number. It sounds like
3 times.
Yeah, it goes like into Dr. Evil. Do you know when he's like 1 million, trillion, trillion,
million tests a day. I love Trump though. I think he's awesome. Like, I don't live in America, so it doesn't matter to me. But
for comedic value, yeah. But oh my god!
And just when people ask him questions, he just answers the question that he wants to answer. Just nobody ignores what they ask.
He's just a buffoon, isn't he?
Yeah, and then they start saying again. He's like, "Nah, shut up, you're fake news."
The fake news media.
Right, we're on to less than a minute, guys. we're on less than a minute. So it's been great again. I'll sort this out and stick it online tomorrow.
Can I quickly post my picture of Tom?
No.
Get a good one
You
out
get
for
a
next
YouTube
week.
ban.
Do it.
Yeah, YouTube banned.
Catch you all soon, guys.
Try guys.
See you guys. Bye.